Well, it took them a year, but they are finally going to fix what I feel is one of the only flaws on an otherwise nearly perfect couples camping fifth wheel. My name is Josh, RV Nerd. Welcome to Bish's RV. We're actually down here at Jayco today, getting a look, my first look actually, at the 2026 Eagle SLE series. There's actually 3 levels of Eagle. This is where Eagle starts. Then we go to HT, and then finally to Big Bird, Eagle. They don't call it Big Bird. That's my name for it. Pretty sure that's copyrighted or trademarked or something. Anyway, this is a very popular floor plan. Cougar came out with this, and now everybody and their brother builds something like it. And I am not mad about that. This is an awesome sauce kind of camper right here. What I like about this, it's less than 30 feet. I think it's less than 29 feet. Tip to tail, tongue to bumper, whatever you want to call it, hitch to back. And it gives us direct facing entertainment, a little bit of campsite window coverage, not terrible, not amazing, but very nice for this size of RV, and dedicated dining space and really good kitchen counter prep area and a lot of storage and a true queen easy walk around bed, plus like big closet dresser built in and a closet dresser wardrobe slide in the upper deck. They have done some awesome things here. And what's crazy about this Eagle, if you actually start pricing it out compared to some of the other similar floor plans that are out there from other builders, these come in several thousand less than many of those. Now, there are some areas that this doesn't have all of the equipment as some of the more expensive models, but I don't know what more I necessarily need on a day-to-day basis. I've got a big power awning space. I got a nice spot where I could hook up a griddle outdoors, do some cooking, 3,000 watt towing package, available 200 watt factory solar on the SLE series. Solar's not standard on the SLEs, and a bunch of other really nice things. No carpet, cloth touch furniture, a lot of things I really like. This checks the boxes on. If you want to double check pricing and availability, remember I leave you links in the description, and let me know as we go. What do you like about this, and what would you change given the opportunity? Now, first thing here, as we get started, what do you think about the new decor? A little lighter, still on that farmhouse and HOA brown tone family, but I don't know, I like it. It doesn't offend me any. I like the lighter color palette. The shoe garage, right when you walk in the door, a crock shop, a flip-flop shop, having a place to kick your shoes off so you're not tracking dirt through the rest of the RV, that is handy. Now, if it sounds like I'm swallowing weird and funny, it's because I just got caught in like this weird sneezing and coughing fit, and my throat's like spasming weird, and I'm like trying to mentally will it to knock it off, and it's not going extremely well. I think we're slowly going to win this battle, but in the meantime, let's start from the top, work our way down. What you don't see, directly anyway, is the air conditioner. You don't see the square, so you won't hear the air. These are your air intakes over here on the sides, and that's Jayco's whisper ducted air system. They do that all the way through the entire Eagle family. And any air conditioners you see on an Eagle will be 15,000 BTU airs. They don't do, anything smaller, essentially. Now, when the video began, I said they're finally going to address what I think is one glaring issue on this floor plan. If you look at this thing, it has no drawers. The kitchen of this RV is like a nude beach. There's no drawers. See what I did there? These are the dad jokes. Keep up, folks. Anyway, this cabinet right here, which is funny because that's where I suggested they do it last year, doesn't matter. They're going to do some kind of drawer solution over there. 1, 2 drawers, something, so you at least have a place to put some silverware back here in this otherwise really awesome kitchen. In that old Robin Williams movie Hook, they would have said that kitchen is bangarang, I do suspect. Now I want to go on a Robin Williams movie marathon. He was always an actor I enjoyed watching. Smart TV standards straight across from the sleeper sofa that we're on currently over here. And you also have a fold-down sleeper guest dinette. Now, this is a couple's camper, but if you do want to have a couple occasional guests, or let me throw this idea at you. If your kids are in their like mid to late teens, there's a chance, probably a good one, they won't be camping with you too much longer. They just sometimes lose the desire. Well, that's where a model like this can be handy, because you can pop open the sleeper sofa, which I'll demonstrate for you in just a minute here, and potentially fold down the dinette and have some extra space. Or maybe you just want to have some friends over, or you had some friends over and we were having a really fun time, and maybe somebody just had a little bit too much to drink and you want to keep them safe and keep them from driving. Well, you can do that. Where are my kitchen outlets? I don't see them, so they must be under the overhead cabinets. Yes, indeedly doodly. We've got a set to the right of the sink, and under the microwave. So, okay. What I do like about this, though, all one level, that's a lot of very easy to reach, handy, functional prep space. And have you noticed the window coverage here? These aren't panoramic windows, but when you're sitting down, you can see out of them. And, overall, I don't think it sucks. I don't love the pedestal style legs, but thankfully, with a screwdriver and about 40 bucks of Amazon Prime money, if you get on Amazon and you just search folding RV table legs, you're going to come up with a wide variety of options that you can use the existing tabletop. You just switch out the legs, or maybe you prefer the posts. I don't know. There's nothing necessarily wrong with them. They're just not necessarily my favorite, so they don't have to be yours. By the way, no carpet and no floor vents in these. Eagles and, well, Jayco's overall have come up with a new heating system that gives you still a warm floor, like floor ducted heating, but they get the ducts out of the floor, so they're easy cleaning. Now, sleeper sofas don't follow any sort of residential traditional norms like queen or full. They're just weird. And I'll tell you, they're also probably not the most comfortable thing. I know because I've spent a weekend on one, and it was not the most comfortable thing. And that was back in 2018. Uh, you know, 9 or 10 years later, 8 years later, whatever it was. I don't know. I can't do math today. Uh, it probably wouldn't be any more comfortable now that I've put on weight and gained a couple years. Now that my bones pop like a bag of popcorn when I wake up in the morning, I don't think I'd enjoy it. Now, as we cruise through the rest of the kitchen storage, I do want to offer the fact that I am, not intentionally, but kind of cheating on something here. If you notice the cabinet door above the microwave, it's actually resting on the other cabinet door because that is a gravity drop door. It's not like holding itself up. It's not strutted. So I'm not intentionally trying to mislead you by virtue of the fact that I spent the last 30 seconds pointing that out. You probably get the idea. Moving around. If they would have just put a big open pocket under the stove, I probably wouldn't have faulted them considering this is their more price sensitive fifth wheel, but they still included a full drawer down there. I also really like the big wastebasket space they put under the right side of the sink. Now remember, today, not a drawer. When this really goes into 26 production, there's supposed to be some kind of drawer space there. The Eagle brand manager guy named Rudy actually came out today to mention that specifically to me because apparently when I pointed that out in my video last year, a bunch of people gave him a bunch of grief over it, and he said, never again. I'm not going to do that again, which is good. Folks, you won. Your voice won. For some reason, I was thinking this refrigerator door opened the other direction. Obviously, it does not. I do appreciate the pocket storage behind the fridge. That's otherwise wasted space a lot of manufacturers don't consider. They remember to use the space behind the fridge, but not originally include a drawer. Oh well. I mean, yes, technically we've seen 2 drawers here, but not like useful silverware drawers or anything like that. And I tell you what, I've been doing this lately here. It just feels like the correct time to do it. While we're standing back here and getting kind of a look at everything, I'm going to go ahead and bump the slide closed, especially since I'm already standing next to the control panel. Makes sense. Another thing I actually like about the more basic SLE series of Eagles is that they just use switches. They don't use any funky smart command things. There's just less to worry about. Now, there is walkable space you can see to get between the slide. Now, you see how the slide's levitating like David Blaine just above the floor right there? That is a rack and pinion slide. And the fact that it's hovering above the floor is the reason you shouldn't try to occupy that sofa while it's retracted. Now, the fridge is built into more construction. It's reinforced. The sofa, a person sitting in the middle of it, it buckles that floor in a way it just wasn't intended for. So kind of keep that in mind. Also, as I'm backing up, looking back down the stairs toward the crock shop where we started the video, the big black box just above the bottom stair right there, that's your converter fuse panel. Perfect location for that. So it's not like when the slide's closed, you're blocked off by anything. Swinging over into the bathroom, we do have a sliding pocket privacy door. We also have some very solid space. If you're a little bit larger in stature, you should still be able to do your business and or bathe in comfort in this bathroom. Now, they have expanded the headroom in the showers without completely rebuilding the RV by going with a maximum size skylight above that shower. And it really just is a more open air, comfortable experience. I'll tell you though, if you camp in hot sun country, it's going to scorch your scalp. So just just trying to be fair with you. This actually is a variety of Max Air fan. That's the smaller Max Air fan. Not all Max Air fans are gigantic in size. Now, there's some potentially decent storage in this bathroom. However, it depends on how you use it, because this is actually shared through the bedroom. You can actually see the hanging bedroom wardrobe closet right there. So you might use part of it for like linens maybe down here. Although thankfully, these little pockets, I think you can actually probably shove a couple towels in there, not a ton, but enough to get you by, enough to do what you need to do. Now, I very often forget to showcase this on Jayco, so I guess the mirror's a better way to look at the shower head. But anyway, left side of the screen, if you would, you can see this actually is a medicine cabinet. Now, something else that's very easy to miss is down here below the sink. First of all, I wish it didn't have a shelf, at least on one side, to give you wastebasket space, but you can very barely see, if you look very closely, shutoff valves for your water lines. So basically every water line in this RV has its own kill switch. So you don't have to cripple the entire RV due to a water system challenge. Now, this is a 60 by 80 True Queen. The SLE series rather, only does this. They don't offer Olympic whatevers. They don't offer Kings. This camper, by default from the factory, only comes with a True Queen bed, but at least it's a True Queen, so replacing the mattress is easy. Remember, we are 50 amp service, so if you do want to, you can still throw a second air up there. I think you could even get that done from the factory, if I'm not mistaken. What if you wanted a king bed real bad, though? What I've actually seen some people do is effectively sacrifice that stand right there and then build a deck out and create a custom corner king. In theory, that could be done, but it's not something done from the factory. Factory does offer household and USB outlets and a reflection of yours truly in the mirror up there. But as we wrap around the corner, it's very interesting. A lot of the Eagles have gone away from these closet slides, and this is a model. Actually, one of our executives at Bish's RV said, man, we really still need something with those closet slides because it adds so much storage that you're otherwise missing. And I'd be curious, I don't know, what do you think is the correct answer? Do you keep the closet slide? Do you not? There's some other builders that don't have it. Eagle does. By the way, because Eagle has a swinging bedroom door, you do have a wall mount for the TV straight across from the bed here if you want to do that. But you got to remember, you might also use part of that space for, bathroom stuff. You do have good dedicated double dresser storage down below here. Now, the SLE series does not have washer dryer prep in that closet. When you start getting into Eagle HT, that's where you'll start to find washer dryer solutions. And I kind of forgot this RV had that closet slide. I thought I had already accomplished my road mode footage. Technically, I still need to give you a little bit of a look at the bedroom closet slide retracted. I will say what you might want to do, I've noticed a couple of these handles or cabinets or something kind of bump into each other. You might want to get some of those little rubber stick-on bumper things to kind of place all over. I do want you to know there is a hanging closet rod in there. And, their closet slide, they do maintain a breeze-through window, which most manufacturers don't. It's just sometimes technically you're losing a little storage for it, but having that light and that airflow, those are not features to overlook necessarily. So since I already kind of did road mode, and we haven't lifted the bed up yet, but I still had to close the closet slide, we're getting a 2-for-1. I've closed the closet slide and lifted the bed. And in a way, what this kind of showcases is not just the fact that you have no ankle break or step of death and storage under the bed, but the fact that you can fully utilize the bed while retracted, which is something that most fifth wheels with bed slides cannot do. So that makes this an awesome traveler's model. By the way, if you want to learn more about different slide systems, like which ones are okay to occupy when the slides close, which ones aren't, like I've talked about in this video, I've done a full video dedicated exclusively to that. I'll try to remember to leave you a link down in the video description. And if I forget, leave me a note. Goes, hey, nerd, you forgot. By the way, this is also what happens when you're not paying attention and you try to walk under the kingpin of a fifth wheel and you're tall and clumsy like me. Now, one of the biggest I don't know, myths, misconceptions, or something I want to address and try to get out of the way right away is this half-ton towable. Statistically, I suspect the majority of RV dealerships out there will say, yes, absolutely, hand us your paycheck. Don't you worry, just trust us. I don't consider this, generally speaking, half-ton towable, which Think about this. There's no financial benefit for me to say that. I am saying this purely for your safety. Most half tons will lack the payload rating to handle the hitch weight of this RV, especially once cargo is in the mix. There's plenty of half tons that maybe have the tow capacity, but not the carrying capacity to handle a fifth wheel, even a smaller, lighter fifth wheel like this one right here. So if you appreciate that, I'll put your safety before the sale. Maybe tune into the next video. In the meantime, let's keep on keeping on. Being a Jayco here, of course, we've got that double length warranty where they have more coverage than just about anybody else. I'll come back and I'll get all this baggage compartment stuff open. I realize I failed to do that. Actually, I'm going to do that now because I forgot to open the one in the back too. So we're just going to start looking at cargo space, shall we? I think that's a good idea. Not that we're going to see anything like, wow, it's just an area where you can put some cargo, but I figure you're going to potentially buy the whole RV. Maybe you want to see the whole RV. I do appreciate that they still maintain 30-pound propane tanks. Man, there's a lot of builders sneakily, quietly putting 20-pound tanks in just to find a way to be $1 cheaper than everybody else. You know what I mean? Your optional solar package will locate your charge controller here in the pass-through, which thankfully is a good position to be able to have service work done on that if needed. I was looking around. Okay, they do. They do still have a heat plenum running through the upper deck flooring, and you do have direct forced air heat dump in this cargo compartment. You can actually see the plywood upper deck flooring right here because they do not have that normal radiant barrier package along the upper deck that they would in the rest of the Eagle family. Again, Eagle starts at SLE, and then it goes up to HT, and then up to full Eagle. So you'll get more equipment and fancier stuff every step of the way. For instance, right where the roof turns from being flat to tapering down, you can see the solar panel mounted right there. That optional 200-watt solar panel, well, I spoiled it. It's optional. It's standard on the rest of the Eagle family, and the SLEs, it will be optional. You do have a gas grill quick connect back here if you want to do some griddling and chittling or something like that. You've also got just a little cargo cubby, you know, something remember on the inside of the RV, we have a rear kitchen with an L-shaped countertop. And there's a chunk of space they couldn't really use effectively in there, so they had to kind of come up with something else for it. Now we're prepped for a bunch of things. We're prepped for solar. I think we're prepped for an inverter, if I'm not mistaken. We're prepped for camera. We're prepped for ladder. We're prepped for, I don't know, prepping the RV, just about every other darn thing. But we do have the 3,000-pound towing hitch still on the back here. That's especially on a smaller model like this. For me, that just makes sense. That's something that you really want on here, whether it's bike racks or whatever. One of the black eyes on this floor plan, but it just cannot be avoided, is the fact that this is a two-headed sewer monster. If you're not familiar with my stupid nerdisms, just back here behind this rack and pinion slide, we have your kitchen gray water outlet. Now, there's actually an additional pull valve on the end of that. That's the the no mess pull valve, just in case your cap wiggles loose. And then you have your bathroom black and gray in the front. So this RV actually has 2 gray water tanks. Very handy if you're park camping, by the way, the extra gray water capacity. But because of the tires being located where they're at and the belly not having enough verticality to go from tank A to B, they're not able to cross plumb everything into one consolidated outlet, which would be preferential, but does not happen on this one. We are slide awning prepped, by the way. And the SLE series doesn't have your normal full docking center like the rest of the Eagles do. I'm not sure if they are making if they've done the testing to say that the SLE series that we're looking at is 0 to 100 degree rated like the rest of your Jayco fifth wheel family. It may not be. So I think the safest thing you can do is probably presume it doesn't, and then, double check on that. That might be a good way to go. One other thing, I mentioned rear rack and pinion slide. Your upper deck closet slide is a Schwintek. And for some people, that's very spooky. I will say, I'm not going to try to talk you into or out of it. What I'll say is that that's really what a Schwintek slide was made for. A small, light, shallow slide. That's where Schwinteks are designed to be used. Too many manufacturers use them in too many ways that they're not supposed to be used, and it's really caused a lot of people a lot of service headaches over the years that hopefully, being executed properly here, you won't have to deal with. So what do you think of the updates to the SLE series of Eagles right here? SLE, but what do those letters mean? I don't know that they mean anything. It's just a random string of letters that I guess sounded cool. I think of it as Smarter Lighter Edition, but that's just my brain trying to categorize something. I don't think that it even actually means something. Steve Lester Edition. Any similarities to persons living or dead? Completely coincidental. Anyway. Check the links in the description if you want to see the pricing, the availability, or videos to other builders who have similar floor plans. Cougar, Avenue also have some very, very good versions of this. And I'm hard-pressed to say which one I like maybe the best. They've all got some qualities that I like or dislike. And this one does have less equipment than some of those. But again, it has a lot less budget too. So that's a factor. You know, money's always a big deal. When you're ready, we're ready. If you appreciate what we're doing, hit that subscribe button. We'll catch you next time. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.